Hi everybody, today we're going to master a simple mesh stitch which looks like this, and I'm still working on this little piece here. So we'll get you started there in a second. So it's very quick and easy to follow. This is ideal for a light summer top. It would work up in no time. So we'll get you practicing your mesh stitch, and before you know it you'll be able to make something. So again, always with our slip knot. Okay, so yarn around your finger, or whichever way you start your slip knot is perfectly okay. And multiples of 4 plus 2 if you haven't made a mesh stitch before, and if you have, this could be a little practice. 1 2 3 4, so multiples of 4 plus 2. So keep going with your multiples of 4 depending on the length that you want yourself, and then I'll meet you to get started. Okay, so I have 24 plus my extra 2, and this is my foundation row. And to get started, you are going to double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So you count back your second chain from the hook. So this is the one that's on the hook, and the dark one now might be difficult to see on camera. So 1, 2, and into the second chain. Actually, you're not going to count this one as one because it's on the hook. So this is on the hook, so we're not going to count that one. So it's 1, 2, and you're going to put a double crochet into that chain. Then you're going to chain 5, and your mesh stitch is just going to be multiples of chain 5, one more, and double crochet. Okay, so to work along the first row, you are going to skip 3 then. So 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain you're going to put a double crochet. So in you go with your double crochet. Then you're going to skip 3 again. Sorry, it's just taking, so 1, 2, 3, and in you go all the way along. So in you go with your double crochet, then chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So skip 3 again, 1, 2, 3, into the next one, double crochet, chain 5. So you can see the loops starting to form now. So that's kind of going to be the flow of the mesh stitch pattern. So you can see the little loops forming. So continue along to the end, skipping 3, double crochet with a chain 5, all the way to the end. You should have 1 chain left over at the end, and into that you'll do a double crochet, but I'll meet you there in a second. Okay, so we're all the way to the end of our foundation row with our little loops or diamonds or whatever you want to call them, and then you will have 1 left over, and into that you're going to put a double crochet. You're going to turn your work, okay? And the next 2 rows now are going to form your mesh stitch, and it'll be the same throughout the whole thing. So the next row is chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold out your work so you can see where you're at. Okay, I'm just going to tighten that bit up there. And then into the first loop, or chain 5, you're going to count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So into the third one, 1, 2, 3, you will put a double crochet. Now you can also work under, I'm just going to work under first to show you. You can work under the loop if you want, but what happens when you work under the loop in a mesh stitch is that it'll tend to slide over the loop, okay? So you could do that if you wanted to. That's kind of the easiest way to do it, but to keep it secure so it doesn't move in the diamond or in your chain space, count into the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So into the third, so that's the middle of your diamond, you're going to crochet a double crochet. Here we go. It just doesn't want to go in there now, so hold out your loop if you're not getting it. Okay, so in you go and do your double crochet. You're going to chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again across into the next loop. And if you can't see it, hold out your chains if you can't see where the middle one is. And the middle one is always the third chain in the chain 5. 1, 2, 3. And again, double crochet secures it, chain 5. So as I said at the start, this mesh stitch is a series of chain 5s with double crochets. Off you go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count over to the next one, into the third, all the way along, and I'll meet you at the end and I'll show you what to do at the end. We've come down to the end, okay, and you have one chain 5 loop left. So for this row, you will double crochet into the third as normal, 1, 2, 3, okay, and then you'll just have 2 chains left in that loop, okay. So if I hold it that way, you'll see it. So that's the last loop. I do my double crochet into the third and I have 2 chains left, okay. So what I'm going to do now is chain 2 to finish this row and into this very last stitch here. So that last stitch was the first foundation row that we did, where we double crocheted into the second chain from the loop starting off. So that creates a double crochet for you, and you will crochet into this, a double crochet, okay, and that completes row 1 of our pattern. So our first row was the foundation row. Now we're working on row 2, which is our pattern, first pattern row, and then you're going to turn your work and we're going to do the second pattern row for the mesh stitch, and those 2 rows will be repeated continuously of your desired length, okay. So we turned your work, you're going to chain 1, okay, and hold out your work now so you can see, and then into the very first stitch. So you know, if you're familiar, we've chained 1, so not into the chain 1 but down into the next stitch you're going to put, as there you go, so that one, okay. So if I turn it that way you can see, so that's the double crochet that we created, and then we turned our work, we chained 1, and now we're going to work a double crochet into that stitch, okay. So you'll always work into the double crochet as you're working along, okay. So the next part then is chain 5 again, back to our chain 5 to create our loops or our diamonds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and over now again, work along. Now we have to get into the middle again of our chain 5 space or our diamond, whatever you want to call it. So if you can't see it, count them, 1, 2, 3. The third is the middle of our chain 5, and we're going to put our double crochet, and that's created a new loop for our second row. Chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, go back, 4 and 5, over to the next one, 1, 2, 3. I think it's easier work counting back this way. Well, it's not, it doesn't make a difference. So if you can't see your stitches clearly, pull them out. So identify your third chain and secure it with your double crochet, and chain 5 again. Continue on to the end, all the way down till you get to this one, and I'll show you what to do at the end of that, and then it's just repeating those 2 rows therein, okay? See you in a minute. Here we are down to the last, chain 5, and to close out this round you're just going to double crochet again into the third chain, which is here, of that space, and that closes the round. So it looks like this. So we're going to turn our work. I'm going to repeat those 2 rows one more time, and then off you go and see how you get on. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the third chain, 1, 2, 3. You're just going to make your diamond, or your double crochet, sorry, to secure it. Chain your 5, and off you go along all the way to the end. Again, I'll show you how to finish this row, start the next one, and that's our 2 row repeat for the pattern. Okay, see you in a second. Now, so again, our last loop, our diamond, into the third chain. So you'll always go into the third chain of the chain 5, okay? So hold out your work, 1, 2, 3. You'll always have to do that. It's just remembering what to do at the end of each row. So the joy and beauty of the tutorial is that you can pause it and rewind. So if you can remember, for this one, we double crocheted into the third chain, and now to finish it, we're going to chain 2, and we are going to double crochet into the last stitch. Okay, there. Like so. We're going to turn our work. We will chain 1 for this round, and then we'll work into the double crochet that we created in the previous round, which is the first stitch, like so. And then we'll chain 5 again, and off we go again, making our diamonds. Off you go, and at the end of this row I'll show you how to finish it, and then that's it. We've done 2 rows of the repeat row patterns already, and you'll just continue on doing that. So I come down to the end here, and off you go then after that. Down at the end of this, we double crocheted into this one, okay, the loop or the diamond, and now we're on the last diamond, and for that we've chained our 5, and then to finish this row it's just double crochet into the third chain, and that completes that row. 1, 2, 3, and that completes that row. So that's the repeat pattern for your easy mesh stitch, and just keep working away. And the double crochet, when you'll see as you're working along, your double crochet is going to help you keep your work straight at the edge, because the mesh is quite a loose stitch to work on. So if you're not familiar with it, give it a go. If you are familiar with it, this might just be a little revision, and I hope my explanation helps you. So off you go, enjoy your crochet, and I'll see you all again next week for another tutorial at the Lantern Project. Till then, take care.